So this is the shed, and in today's video we're going to be putting solar on it. This is actually my day job. I'm a solar installer for a local company, and I actually have solar on our house. I've got 3 425 watt Maxion sun power panels with N-phase microinverters on the front, and I've got 9 older SunPower 225 watt modules with N-phase 215 watt microinverters on the back. And this shed is going to be getting 4 more SunPower 225s, but because it's so small, and I was looking for some kind of string inverter, for a bunch of other logistical reasons, I didn't want to put microinverters on this because there's only 120 volts running out to the shed. There's no 240 power out here. There's no combiner panel or breaker or anything. So I looked into the microinverters, which were huge, the Chinese ones that take 4 panels worth of input, which is perfect. So this whole project is going to be based around that product, and we're going to see how it goes. So I've decided that this location is where I want to put the microinverter and just kind of have it feed into the house. I've heard these, this is it right here. I've heard these actually get fairly hot. So I wanted to mount it inside the shed instead of on the roof where it would just bake and get even more hot. And I initially wanted to mount it right here in this stud bay, but this is only 12 inches wide, and this right here is 11.5 with the MC4 connectors on it. And if you plug leads into it, they would probably stick out to about here. And it'd end up being like about 14 inches wide with cables plugged into it, so that wouldn't work. So this stud bay is actually 16 wide, which would be perfect. I just have to cut out this pegboard.
Hey Dada, what you doing?
Cotton. That's going to work just great. So working for a solar company, we get a lot of weird ballast of systems and parts and stuff that one of the major companies we did business with went under this past year, which was quite a shock. But we have a lot of leftover parts because of it. So this is a rail from a SunPower system called Invisimount, and these are Invisimount grounding lugs. And I have a whole big bag of them. But I think I'm going to use these to mount the microinverter into the wall, and because this is extruded aluminum, it'll work as a natural heat sink and help divert even more heat away from the heat soak prone microinverter.
Gotta get some of that natural light in there.
This is actually going to work out perfectly because this is the trunk cable that comes from the microinverter to the 120 outlet, because this just plugs into any house receptacle. But it has this cord and this display that allows you to see analytics of the panels and what they're producing, it has this CT right here to show the amount of energy flowing. But I have power right down here at this junction box, so I'm probably just going to jump off of that, put a receptacle about a little bit up from that on the wall, have this plugged in behind the pegboard, and then I might make some kind of I have this big sheet of ABS plastic that I might make some kind of cover for the screen. So for the microinverter on the wall to work, I need to plug it into power, and there's not really an ideal outlet anywhere in this garage or a shed that reaches, so I'm going to wire up a new one off of a junction box that's kind of below it, but it's just a junction box. There's no receptacle to plug it in. So I got this metal outdoor box and a single 20 amp tamper-proof outlet receptacle, and I'm just going to pre-wire. I'm going to punch out this knockout in the bottom, pre-wire just like a pigtail, maybe 18 inches of wire, and then screw it up, and it's actually going to be inside the pegboard, and you won't really be able to see it, but it'll be able to plug in and look really clean. So first we put the Romex connector on our 12-2. There we go. Of course, everything's being blurry. There we go. Okay. Strip off the paper, off the ground wire. Sorry. I have the camera sitting on a stepladder, and I am sitting on a folding camp chair inside the stepladder trying to film this. So now we got our hot, our neutral, our ground. Take some catapults. Oh, wrong size. There we go. There we go. Cool. And pass this. Oh, take the lock nut off first. Uh-oh. And pass through the lock nut. Pull that out. Alright. Lock nut is secure. Now we can wire up our receptacle. Come on. I don't know why I'm showing this. There's like 1,000 videos on YouTube of how to wire up a receptacle, but whatever. No! Oh shoot, it's backstab. Huh. Well, there you go. If this will focus. To tell you the truth, I didn't even know this was like a backstab receptacle. I didn't even look at it before I bought it. So there we go. That's all wired up. Gonna pop this down, squish all these wires down, and land the screws here. I know you're technically supposed to wrap receptacles with electrical tape when you're putting them in a metal box, but nothing's touching nothing, so we're fine. We're fine. It's good. It's all okay. It's great. Come on. Oh. So there's our pigtail wired up to our outlet, and you might be asking, how are you going to mount that up in there when you already landed the receptacle in there? And that is an excellent question, which I wasn't thinking about because I'm trying to film stuff and go fast. So this is Greenfield. It's flexible metallic. It's basically EMT but floppy. So I have it run up from the microinverter up into the top of the attic, and then I'm going to run it over to a rafter bay and pop a hole through to a rooftop junction box.
The next day.
Hey guys, it's raining, but it's one of the only times where both kids are asleep, so the show must go on. So this is the shed. I'm going to be putting 4 more panels on the shed, and to do that, I'm going to use a product called a flash lock. It's what I use at work. It's a sealant-filled hollow puck that you slag down to the roof. It actually has 2 provisions for hitting a rafter. It also has 6 holes that if you don't hit a rafter, you can just deck mount it. And it provides a good solid seal. It has a gasket around the edge that conforms to the shingle, and then you pump it full of sealant so it doesn't ever leak. So I'm going to do those, and I'm also going to do a rooftop junction box. We call them Solidex because that was the gold standard in the industry for a while, but the product I'm going to be using is called Easy Box. Not affiliated or anything, it's just what we use and what I have at the warehouse and what my boss has generously given to me. So I'm going to be doing that for and my lovely wife behind the camera. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
No.
Cinco. Seis.
Thank
you.
Anything else?
I'm alright for now. Part of my everyday carry is a Klein impact rated 11-in-1. I really don't go anywhere without it. That and a Milwaukee Fastback. It's really awkward when I go to like weddings or events and stuff and I'm carrying a freaking screwdriver, but it comes in handy more than you think. Oh crap, I need the screws for them too.
That's what I figured.
I'm
Just
so
like
sorry.
thinking there was nothing up here to actually attach.
I just hopes and dreams. What's up? Yeah, I really need like an extension ladder. You don't do this kind of stuff often enough to need one.
Alright, are they all the same box?
Yeah, they should be in a little baggie. Yep. Thank you.
Anything else?
I'll let you know when I think of it. So I pre-marked out this roof a while ago. The rain has washed off a lot of the marks, but I can still kind of see them. You probably can't. Each one of these 5/16 headed screws has an EPDM washer on them, so when you sink them down, it kind of squishes out and seals the puck to the roof. Cool. I'm staggering the feet just because these two panels are on landscape, and yeah, I'm staggering them to share the load a little bit more distributed out across the rafters. With the sealant, there's a little port at the top that the sealant squeezes out of when to let you know that you're completely full. But the amount of force it takes to pump these full, if the roof is a little wet, you will see water bubbling out of around the gasket from the pressure. So it'll squeeze every bit of water out, even if you install these in the rain. So these are the feet installed. Those two are staggered. Hi. This is actually the 9 panels that are on the back. It's a low-pitched roof and it's north facing, so it's not ideal. So I tried to make them as flat as possible, but they actually get decent sun exposure later in the day. So somebody just tossed me an open bag of hardware. No, I don't believe you. I want a rail. Thank you. So these are full-length Iron Ridge XR 100s. This is their beefier offering. They have an XR10, which is really skinny, an XR 100, which is beefier, and then they have an XR 1000, which is like super, super beefy, commercial, industrial grade. This is more of a residential, heavier duty residential extrusion. So we're gonna have to cut these down because they're 168 inches right now. We only need 124. Watch your head. Heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Get it?
Yep. Maybe one day I'll do a what's in my bag for a solar installer's tools. Basically, all the throughout the industry, there's like 3 different main sizes for mid clamps and end clamps that attach the panels to the roof. There's like 7/16, ½ inch, and then SunPower used 10 mil. Every once in a while you find something that's 9/16, but it's more uncommon. The big 3 are ½ inch, 7/16, and 10 mil. Iron Ridge and Unirac are 7/16. So these are a stainless T-bolt. They can be kind of annoying because they'll fall out of the rail when you don't want them to, but you can push them in through the L-foot into the rail and turn them. When you tighten them up, they'll lock into place and tighten down.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was doing some not so quick maths to figure out what I'd have to set this off the edge for it to be centered. In Pennsylvania, they have what's called fire setbacks. It's the distance you have to be off the edge for it to be code. Just for firefighters, if they need to come up to a roof, they need an access way to vent the ridge. It's usually 3 feet in most townships. However, this isn't a living space. This is like an outbuilding or something like that, so that it doesn't apply. So I can set this so it'll be centered in one place. This is the rooftop junction box I was talking about. It's made by Easy Solar. It's a flashed junction box. Drill a hole in the roof, you break up the shingles, put this underneath. I'm just going to be using it as a pass-through because I'm not actually going to make any connections in here. But I have 1-inch green field coming up from the inside of the attic that I'm going to come through this hole and then just immediately pass out down through here and have MC4s here that the panels can connect to. You don't want to have your junction, the hole in your junction box coming out in a stud. That's bad. Usually we have, at work we have these things we call blue bars. It's kind of like a Slater's bar made by Dasco. It's a big bar with a wide end and kind of nail pulling hooks on it. But you can just use like a Wonder Bar or any kind of pry bar like this. It is easier on 3-tab shingles like this than architectural though. Again, you could use tin snips for cutting the shingles like this. I have an actual pair of shingle shears. You cut the profile of the junction box, and then you slide up this flashing part underneath the next course and a half of shingles. Now at work, we seal these boxes with a product called GeoCell 2300. It's a tripolymer clear 60-year sealant. Basically like impossible to fail. So once you seal the edges with that, this box actually comes with instructions too. You fill in this, and then we actually do a double rainbow around the outside to ensure complete seal. So you can line up your junction box like this. I already have the hole drilled in the back for the pass-through, and then I'm going to mark it out on the shingles underneath to know exactly where to drill through for the pilot hole. That's where it's going to go. Well, I found my hole saw, but not the arbor for it. So I'm gonna have to improvise. A little bigger. Wrong tool, but a better tool. Now, if it weren't for me showing you he's struggling for the past 10 minutes with him, you would have no idea it wasn't drilled with a hole saw. So, to seal this up, feels kind of stupid that I'm doing this in the rain, but follow this line. And I just do a double, follow this here, and then straight down. These are weep holes right here, but you can dab a little bit of sealant in the screw holes if you'd like. And just go up and into here. It comes with its own screws, but this was an open box. So I'm just mounting it with deck screws, and they do the same thing. And while this isn't required, we always do it. Just kind of pipe some sealant around the outside to keep the shingles nice and glued down. This part helps me live out my welding dreams. Stacking diamonds with sealant. Hello. I'm up in the attic right now. This is the hole that we popped through the roof. You can see the junction box in there. And this is Greenfield. This is metallic, flexible conduit. Because this is DC coming straight off the roof, it should be sleeved in metal until it hits the inverter, which in our case is a microinverter. But because I'm running DC leads directly from the roof, it's not transitioning to AC on the roof. I want to sleeve it in metal until it gets there. So this is going to go right up here, and it's going to get strapped along and then straight down into the microinverter. And you can use, oh, where did they go? Rigid heavy wall straps on Greenfield, and they work just fine. Mm-hmm. So these screws are hitting the plywood before this has a chance to seat up and into the roof. So I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I'm talking to the camera. There we go, much better. There we go. Woohoo! So there's the stub. There's the lock nut going on there. And I'm gonna pass fish tape down into the conduit if I can.
tomorrow.
Okay. Watch out, Lulu. So, we have two different generations of sun power panel right here. They're both 225s, but this is an older one that has MC3 connectors on it. That has MC4s, which we need. So, I'm going to cut off the MC3s on here and crimp on MC4s. Actually, my lovely wife is going to, but I'm going to show her how to do one.
Okay. How am I doing it?
So this is the, if we look for reference on that one, the one on the right is the positive, gets a male end. The one on the left, negative, gets a female end. So I'm going to cut this off here, like that.
Okay.
And you take these, which are called catapults, and you put this on the number
Watch
10.
your baby fingers.
Number 10, go like that. And there you have your prepped end. And do the same on the other side.
Cut the same thing off.
Cut the same thing off.
Okay.
And we'll use this one as reference, and then we'll stack this over there, and then we'll be able to use the previous as your reference. There we go.
What do you mean by
So this is the insert, and this is the connector.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the $500 crimper tool.
You didn't buy that when we were married, right?
This isn't mine. This is
Oh, it's a work tool.
this is a work tool.
I do not remember that financial investment there.
So you take the insert, open end, put it in there, and kind of pinch it close. That way it's holding itself. And this is the female end, so we're going to be doing the left side. Put the wire in there and crimp it. We can take off this tag right here. And then this is the connector end. Feeds right in there until you hear it click. And usually you have MC4 disconnect tools, which have the kind of a half circle size. But everyone at work calls me Thunder Thumbs because I can do this.
Which I'm sure I cannot.
There's your MC4 end
Okay.
for one panel. And I'm going to get the male side.
All right. Same exact process, though?
Same exact process.
Okay.
There we go. Take this. This is a different insert. The opposing side. Put it in there. Put this in here. And crimp. And there we go.
Okay.
Straighten it out if you need to. Pull that off. Male end. Click. Screw that in. There we go. One MC4ified older panel.
Awesome sauce.
So I made these kind of pre-wired lengths. I taped colors onto them because I'm going to do a pair for each panel coming down to the microinverter. So I've got a black and a red for each panel. I got some label green, yellow, red. I didn't have enough. I bought a 25-foot roll of red number 10 THHN wire, but I needed 32 feet of this because I needed to cut 4 8-foot lengths. So I was only able to cut 3 8-foot lengths out of this, and I just wrapped the ends of another 50-foot roll of black that I had in red tape so that it says, hey, this is red. It just makes it easier for me to understand. So I got all this spaghetti mess, and I'm going to run a ground with it. Bloop.
What are you doing? Dad is explaining what he's doing.
So whenever you're trying to do a wire pull, it's good to stagger your wires so it's not just one big clump going through all at the same time. Oh, do you understand, Lou? You're trying to say you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This might be tough because I got what, 9 conductors going through 1-inch green field. It's fine. It's just it might catch when I'm pulling.
What do you need help with?
Okay, I'm gonna hop up on the roof. Hey, look at that! Nice. It almost pulled out of the
Tape.
fish tape snake, fish stick tape snake. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying I was just going to use the Solidec junction box as a pass-through. The wires just come out of here and go directly into this 4-hole cord grip, and I shoved 2 10-wire wires through each hole of the 4-hole cord grip. So it's stuffed pretty tight, but it works. I'm going to pull all these back to the connector just so there isn't so much THHN sticking outside exposed to the elements, but it's really not horrible because the panel is going to be over top of it. But I just put connectors on each pair. On this side it'll be male on the black, female on the red, because the positive lead of the panel, the male end of the panel, is going to be plugging into here. So I'm going to do the opposite end on the bottom of these inside.
2,000 years later.
So these are called Iron Ridge camo clamps. They're an end clamp. They're a universal style end clamp. So you put your panel down and this pushes into the frame. It's kind of like this. You push it into the frame and then you lift up over and it bites into the frame and it clicks down into the channel. Thank you.
What you doing?
So this is the junction box that was in here. And I actually found a paper of a wiring diagram from 1992 when this shed was wired up. So that was kind of interesting. So there is a piece of conduit trenched underneath the walkway here that pops up into, you can't really see, it's behind the workbench, but comes up here into this junction box, and it's this wire right here. So I'm just going to tie into the feed for the whole thing because it's all 120, and I'm going to verify that by checking right now. Got my meter on volts AC. Why am I doing that? There's nothing there. But I'm just going to check here. $123. Cool. So hey guys, so that's the solar shed build done. I'm sorry it was a longer video and I got a bit technical in places. I just wanted to make it really clear so that you could do it yourself at home and just get into like the nitty-gritty aspects of everything to make it really simple for people.
it's doing great right now. It's producing about 279 watts at 2.5 amps. So it only shows the collective wattage of the panels as if they were in parallel and not series. So the voltage doesn't stack, but the amperage does. So this is the finished product, and it's doing really good for us. All right. I hope this video was beneficial for you guys, if not just entertaining. From our family to yours, have a great one.